Hey guys, Mike with Gettin Greasy Garage. So, some of you will remember the '03 Silverado, $1,000 auto build. Finally getting back to this. So I had some runnability problems. I couldn't get it to fire. So, because I'm limited on diagnostic equipment, I sent it out to a buddy of mine's shop uptown. And they put it on the scope. Turns out all of my sensors are good, computer's good, all my wiring was done correctly, which, I'm real happy to hear. However, they discovered that the engine doesn't turn fast enough to produce an RPM signal to tell the crank sensor to tell the computer to fire the spark plugs. Injectors work, like I said, everything's working. It's just not creating a tach signal to fire the ignition. And we tried a different starter, we tried a couple other things, and what it comes down to is, unfortunately, something is too tight inside of the engine. Now, whether it's bearings or the crank was ground incorrectly, I don't know. I'm going to be pulling this engine back out, put it back on the engine stand, and get the pan off it and figure it out. It spun over on the stand when I put it together. Of course, I put it together inside of a 40-degree shop. Oil and assembly lubes are kind of thick. I didn't catch it, but nonetheless, I did use a crank kit from a grinder on eBay. That was the unknown quantity. In that kit was rod and main bearings. Now, the rod bearings were Clevites. I've used Clevites plenty of times. I'd never had an issue with them. The main bearings were King bearings. I've never personally used them, but I've always heard good things about them. But with current parts quality, who knows? So whether it was something I didn't do right or the crank grinder didn't do right, the end result is this motor has to come back apart. It's not that big of a deal, a couple hours to get it back out. But, knowing that at least all the wiring and electrical and sensors and everything are good is a big relief. I went ahead and ordered a LS lift plate. So you take the intake off and pull the top cover where the knock sensors are off, and you bolt the plate on there. And it makes it a hell of a lot easier to lift these LSs straight up because of the independent front suspension. It has to come straight up and then straight forward. And trying to do it with a chain with the overhang of the firewall, it's really a pain in the ass. So I got the lift plate coming. I found a really nice swivel hook for my engine hoist. And mind you, I'm doing all of this in the middle of the 59 Fairland build, which I've got some videos coming. I haven't really had any time to do any editing, but when I get to them, you'll see them. So anyway, I just wanted to show you guys what was going on with this and talk about it a little bit. I'm really hoping it's something simple, like mispackaged bearing, and I can just throw a set of main bearings in it, and everything will be fine. But again, until I get it out and get it apart, I don't know. And I'm not going to badmouth the crank grinder because I don't know until I measure everything up that his work was done wrong. Now, this motor did seize the crank before. It didn't spin any bearings. But that doesn't leave out that there still isn't an issue with the main bearing line in this block. So The block was sent to the machine shop for hot tank and inspection and cam bearings. The machine shop didn't say anything about the main bearing line at the time. So, nonetheless, there's a few factors. It has to be done. It has to be fixed. I really want to see this thing rip. Especially with all the work that went into it. There's a lot of work doing this stuff that people think is no big deal. But this is a full custom build. This isn't a true bolt-in kit. I had the owner of the truck here today, and we walked around and showing things and pointing things out and explaining things, and poor guy wants this truck, but he's really happy with what has been done, and he likes what he sees and the quality of my work. And shit happens. I guess having the crank too tight is probably better than having something too loose and spinning a bearing when it started. But it's such as life. Things happen. Nobody's perfect. Not me. I didn't have to do a video talking about the fact that this motor's too tight. I could have just hit it, but I'm not ashamed of that fact that I make mistakes too. I'm as human as anybody else. And with excuse me, the current state of affairs with parts and supplies and everything else that we've dealt with post 2019, I was unable to use my normal crank grinder, normal companies that I would have used when I put this together. I had to go outside of the box. And so, well, I don't know, honestly, if it bit me in the ass or not. I won't know until I get this thing apart. But hopefully it's just something simple. I had cam bearings put in, and I put a new cam in this, the Brian Thule Racing Stage 2. When I spun the cam, it spun freely, so I really don't think that's it. But again, we won't know till we get it apart. When I do get it out and get it apart, I will bring you guys along for the ride, so you can see where the problem is, or see what the mistake was that was made. And we'll get it fixed, because in the end, that's all it is, that it has to be fixed, it has to be finished. So yeah, so anyway, the next video I'll probably do an update video when I pull it out, and then we'll move it over to the shop, get it on the engine stand, get it all torn down. I'm going to try to pull it out as complete as possible and put it back in as complete as possible. But anyway, well, that's enough out of me. It's a damn near a 10-minute video. Just wanted to give you guys an update. If nobody really asked, but I don't like leaving projects unfinished. And for those of you that have been around my videos a long time, my other channel, anybody who knows me should recognize that. That's the sticker I put on the vehicles that I work on. So, yep, got to get this done. This owner of this wants to drag race this on a quarter mile and see what it'll turn. And I'm curious too. So, anyway, guys, that's it for now. Thanks for watching. Thank you for supporting the channel. If you haven't subscribed, please do. Hit that subscribe button. Like, share videos. Ring the bell for notifications. All that stuff's free. Doesn't cost you a thing. It really does help out the channel. And getting off your ass and out into the shop gets things done. See you later.